I don't speak Greek, sorry. So, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Blusan, for inviting me, and thank you for your time. So I don't have the habit to stay, not to move. I'm Luigi, I'm Italian. I handle all the South European region, including Cyprus. I'm in the industry, in the IT and security industry since a long time. It's about 25 years. And many of the brands that I've seen here, are part of my, daily business. So what is Qognify? I don't know how many of you knows this brand. Qognify, very quickly, is a mix of three brands that very recently, so last year, has been merged together. So most of you probably are familiar with a brand called Nice System, CTEC, which is a German brand, and ONSSI, which is an American brand, last year, at the end of 2018, merged together worldwide, and today we are the third largest group in the IT and the security industry and in the analytics industry. So I want to start with a video that very shortly, 1 minute, will explain you, what kind of a solution, what is our value proposition in the industry.
On the move, people are flying, driving, switching, gathering, distributing, celebrating, coming and going. But sometimes it can all just come to a stop. Traffic jams, flight delays, security incidents, disruptions, severe weather, crime, malfunctions, overloads. To sustain the flow of daily life, it all has to keep on moving smoothly. Eliminate crime, optimize security, minimize risks, ensure safer cities, maintain business continuity, improve customer service, and save on resources. Keep it all moving smoothly. Qognify.
Okay, so we act globally. So our presence is worldwide. The headquarters is in New York. The EMEA headquarters is in Brussels, in Germany, which is part of the acquisitions of last year. And R&D is in Israel, is in Brussels, and is in New York. Of course, we have some development in India. So what is our value proposition? We basically are in we have three business units. One business unit is the VMS, so the video management software, where we have three platforms. Some of these platforms are also installed in some of the facilities here in Cyprus. Then we have what we call enterprise incident management and artificial intelligence. And then we have business video intelligence and, let's say, an umbrella, which is a kind of central monitoring station platform. We address several verticals, of course, and some of the solutions that we have are specifically addressed for each of these verticals. When I say we have specific solutions for some specific verticals, I mean specifically, for instance, when we have critical infrastructure, let's make an example, and we will see a little bit later, and the retail, where we really need the specific analytics to help us to make better decisions, especially when we have infrastructures like airports, when we have infrastructures like metro stations, railway, oil and gas, where, as much as more information we have, as much more we make sound decisions, but overall, we make sound decisions in a, let's say, reasonable short time. And of course, retail, because as we know, let's say, many of the retailers know perfectly who we are, and as more and more, the analytics will allow the retailers to know their customer. So let's start, for instance, talking about what for us is managing an incident. When I say an incident, of course, it's not a crash with the cars, but it's an event that has a big impact, a very high impact on people or on assets. Let me give you an example. If we have a metro station, and for whatever reason there is a shutdown of the network or of the power, there's not really a big impact on the assets, right? Of course, costs are involved, but the big impact is on people. So there's thousands of people that cannot go to work, that they are stuck on the train, they are stuck on the station. Vice versa, let's imagine a refinery, an oil refinery. If we have a network down, and the refinery cannot process the oil, we don't really have a big impact on people because they can have, a longer break, a longer lunch, but definitely very big impact on assets because, a refinery that stops production, it's millions of dollars every minute, okay? So, of course, every sensor can be a source of information. It might be that lights, it might be this microphone, it might be smoke detectors, alarm detectors, a camera, and analytics, and so on. So we integrate all of this, okay? And these are just some of the brands and that we integrate. And all this integration are linked to what? To the timing, to the severity. So it's like talking about in the military industry, DEFCON 1, DEFCON 2, DEFCON 3, and of course the location, and all this generates an event. All this generates a process, a procedure that has to be managed. So we have the operations center. What is important here is to know, it's written not really that big, but on the left you see what's happening. So we need to understand what is going on. It's just, a door that is being opened is not supposed to be opened, or it's just a microphone that detects someone shooting someone else. Okay? Of course, it is important where this is happening. If it is happening something in an airport, it's one thing as a kind of severity if it happens on the land side, and it's another one if it is happening on the air side. And of course, how to respond, what we have to do. So it goes to the operations centers, it goes to the responders, and of course it goes to the stakeholders. What is the stakeholders? Stakeholders might be the minister, might be the mayor of the city, might be the security manager of the airport, the ICT manager of the airport. All this, when we think about advanced workflows, for us means automatic workflow that are designed together with the client, to get the best solution. Because what is good for a metro is totally different than an airport or in an oil refinery. Of course, then we have all our dashboards that we can build, like any other dashboard. So we want to know what's going on, where, when, and how to respond, and so on. Oops, sorry. One of the analytics, for instance, that is a part of our portfolio, and there's more and more it's used and it's required, is what we call the suspect search. Let's have a look.
If you need to locate the owner of this unattended baggage, you'd best hope it's not here. If this child were lost, it would be easy to find him here. But what if it was here, or here, or here? These are situations in which locating your target within minutes is essential. With Qognify Suspect Search, the next generation video search and track application, you can do it easily. Instead of watching hours of video, it presents you with the relevant images so you can run the search across the vast number of security cameras and locations to find the person of interest within minutes and automatically track their route on a map. Enhancing situational awareness, enabling immediate response, and expediting forensic searches, Qognify Suspect Search can help you reduce the search time from hours to minutes. Qognify Suspect Search, when time is of the essence.
So again, what is important is to have at a glance, to have a picture on what's going on and how to respond. So basically, we have, if you imagine a curve, we have the detection, so we know what's going on, the acting, and the response. So what is important, the big difference is the time to act. If I get an heart attack here, if the ambulance comes in 10 minutes, I have 90% of probability to survive. If it comes in 30 minutes, probably not. So the time for this is extremely important. Let's go to retail, for instance. Let's take just three of the most used analytics. People counter, queue manager, and the heat map. Let's take an example, for instance, of the fisheye, on the people counter in any retail store. So what is more and more important for the retailers, whatever the retailers are, supermarket or top brands, in the super high street, is important to know how many people get in and overall the conversion rate. So how many people get in the store and how many of those people buys, okay? How many of those, and not only the number of people, but if they are single people, if they are family, if they are groups, of course, because it needs to be split, of course. This is another example. This is a queue management. It is important to know how many people are at the check-in counter at the airport rather than you go to Zara on Saturday afternoon and you see that there is a terrible queue on the cash registers. You go to IKEA, it's the same thing. So this allows the retailer, to give a better service. Then you, of course, have the heat map, where it is important for me, my customer, they have to go to. Is I want them to go, if it is a supermarket, to the canteen, or to where there's the drinks, where there is something that I want to push. So this allows me to make a better decision in terms of marketing here, not in terms of security, in terms of marketing. And then, of course, we have, we can discriminate with our dashboards, and so helping to get better decision in terms of analytics, in terms of the waiting customer or the waiting time. All these analytics can be configured in a different way. Same is for the heat map, and they can be divided. Imagine a retailer. Imagine, I don't know, Louis Vuitton. Louis Vuitton has Louis Vuitton and many others. Let's take an Italian, Giorgio Armani, I prefer. Many stores around the world. Okay, I want to know what's happening in every single region, in every single store, in every single hour of the day that the store is open. That allows me to do a lot of things. Let's imagine if we connect this to the digital signage. If I have many people from 9 to 10, I will make my, let's say, whatever advertiser paying more rather than like a 2 to 3 in the afternoon where I don't have a so high flow of people. So this information allows me also to sell my spaces, for instance, for advertisement. And of course, as I said, we can access every single site. We're talking about a web-based platform. We can have a view, as I said, weekly, monthly, yearly. We can see the trends. We can see, how many people get in at what time. How many people together linked with the heat map? How many people stays in the specific hours in the specific space of my stores? And so on, hourly report. So when you see, this is an example, when you see red, you see that at that specific hour, there was a lot of people in that part of the stores. Same thing is for the queue management. So, I can produce so many information that allows the manager to make sound decision in order to increase not only the revenue, but increase the efficiency and reduce, as we will see, and reduce the difference between the people that get into the store and the people that buy. So the conversion rate is one of the analytics that every retailer look very, very careful. This is an example of the heat map, for instance, okay? Let me give you an example. I was in an Italian store, the very big retailers called Conad, and they opened a very new store, which was a kind of benchmark for the new openings and for the renewals, okay? So they put what they call the parapharmacy, which is not a real pharmacy, but they sell everything which is not medication, and it was beautiful. It was really nice, but they didn't sell anything. I mean, the sales were not as expected. So we did this kind of analysis, putting cameras and designing some virtual lines and virtual paths on the floor. They found out that the position was wrong. They found out that the big boxes with cell phones and all the things that they were selling were giving not the opportunity to the customer to go to the pharmacy. So they changed completely the layout of that part of the store. Again, this is a case history of a retailer in the UK. As you can see, there is stores that are located throughout the United Kingdom. And for instance, you can see here the difference of the analytics. You see the customer and you see the transactions. Here you see the groups, and here you see the red one is a missed transaction. Sorry, this one is the missed opportunities, which is, like I said before, the difference between the people that get into the store and the people that bought something. So that is the conversion rate, and so on. Okay, so you can have the customer, you can have the customer that bought, how many people get in, how much time they stayed in the specific corner of the store, and so on. These are, for instance, some of the references. We're talking about different verticals. So we go to logistics. We have analytics for logistics, for instance, which we call business video intelligence. So what is business video intelligence? Just imagine we name DHL there. One of the big problems of the retailers is to track the boxes, okay? So imagine DHL as a customer like Apple. So thousands of iPhones every day that go through DHL. First, they have to secure Apple, which is their customer, that the security process sounds good. But secondly, tracking a box with a lot of iPhones, it costs money. So when you have, and today, you track the box. If you need to find the box, you need to watch hours of video. With the business video intelligence, which is one of our platforms, you can track the box towards a different kind of search engine, like the barcode, like the geolocalization, like the RFID label, or like a name of the product, and so on. And in a few seconds, it will pull up all the video related to that specific transactions. Of course, we have, that's it, done. Almost on time. Thank you very much for your attention, and I hope you enjoyed my presentation. Thanks.